Welcome to the Monday Morning Wake Up Call with your host, Kerry, managing broker at Remax Elite, and Heather Holiday, your social marketing nut, talking about hottest real estate topics with a little weekly activity and motivation for the week. Good morning and happy Monday.
Happy. Woo, happy Monday.
It's a Monday.
It is a Monday. It's not so hot here right now, but was a hot weekend. Holy mackerel. And here we are. I was like reviewing what we're talking about today, and this is a full morning. Lots of great tips for getting started and doing video.
Yeah, we've had this like on the list for a while, and I know it's always a hot topic, but I do have some fun tips I hope everyone likes, because I'm not one, especially with TikTok and Reels and the reach you can get with those is incredible.
Yeah.
But I'm not someone who wants to dance and look like an idiot. And for me, I'm one of those people who don't ever have their sound on their phone.
Right, me either. It's very, very rare that I have it on, because otherwise it would be like driving the whole world crazy with the ching, jing, ring, everything, So I agree. I don't have it on, so I'll be scrolling through whatever, I'm mostly a Facebooker, but I'll be scrolling through Facebook and the video comes up, and you don't hear it, but that we're going to talk about that. So
yes, yeah. So I love this topic. I mean, I know. Even for like this show, it was in our business plan for 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years. We're going to do this. I think we even had like my office that had the full backdrop. Like we had everything ready
we had
to go.
Kind of like a desk set, not a desk, but it was like the bookcase with the 2 chairs, the whole thing. And we never did it.
Yeah. We had the full backdrop, the desk, the whole, staging area to do it. And we still never did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and it really, I think and like a lot of people, I think it took COVID to come and us to find this platform and do it from, the way we're doing it. And I know the first few times, and that's going to be on one of our tips, is we did it kind of secretly or privately. So it was just a test so that we could figure out what we were doing, because we had no idea. And I think even, we had kind of scripts of how we were going to do it, and of course it changes as you evolve, and we've definitely evolved throughout.
It totally changes. I mean, and here's the thing, that like the number one tip, which is not really what one of our tips, but it is really the number one, you just have to do it.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully these 10 tips that we're going to go through to help you will get you excited and motivated to just get out there and do it.
And hit that red button. I know that first few times it was kind of like holding my hand and forcing it to go hit that red button. And it was absolutely horrifying. And I mean, it is fun because I look back at my YouTube and I see some of the first ones I did. And oh my gosh, it was absolutely tongue twisting and horrifying.
Yeah, right?
The lighting or, the whatever. But the thing is until you at least go to do it, the more, just like anything else, the more you practice, the more you do it, the more comfortable you get, the more you realize, if I screw up, whatever, it is what it is.
Exactly.
So let's get started on this. I know there's like a ton of these.
I know.
Tip number 1 is making them engaging, because you only have like a couple seconds, and stop thinking as like an agent or whatnot. Think about the videos you actually may turn your sound on to actually watch. You have like those first couple seconds to really engage somebody for them to even stay on the video.
Yes.
So, you know, I mean, I know for us, the show, it has that long intro, and a lot of that is just so we can prep and get everything together. And, you know, because it's live, so many people, when they do lives, I see them go on, they start talking, and then they end. But I just saw the notification and got into the platform and clicked on it, and they're saying bye. That's one of my like biggest pet peeves, is you have to kind of give it time, you know, on when you're doing lives.
But you also have to make it engaging so that they want to
get on, turn the volume on, and participate.
Exactly.
So make them engaging, whatever that may be. Maybe you have a headline of what you're going to be talking about. There's a lot of different ways that you can make it engaging. And maybe that's why some people dance, and I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's to grab the attention, or, you know, so figure out, but, you know, you always have to kind of be true to yourself. And I mean, here's tip number 2, know your audience.
Right. That's huge.
Yeah. Who are you trying to reach? What platforms are you doing your video on? And if you're trying to reach, you know, I don't know, you could say, oh, I'm trying to reach all buyers and sellers, or are you trying to reach a certain demographic, is a certain age group? You know, I think generally we tend to reach people within our own kind of demographic. So what do you like to watch?
And who is your ideal client? And that's going to help you when you're trying to come up with ideas on your messaging. So if you love working with first-time home buyers, or, you know, maybe senior citizens, your messaging is going to be a little different depending on who is your target audience, who do you love working with. Instead of it being this broad thing, it's really going to help you if you know who your audience is, who is engaging with you on social already. Think about that aspect, as far as, because that's going to really help with those headlines and messaging and stuff like that, just across the board. So knowing your audience is a huge deal, instead of it just being generic, which of course we can do. But I think the hardest part is people just don't even know where to start.
Yep.
And for me, knowing who your audience is, who you're speaking to, what you love, what you're passionate about, that's a great place to start.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, and then you said, like you say, most of us have our volume off on our phone. So when I have Facebook open, right, and I'm scrolling through and I see a video and I stop on it, I can't hear them, right? And you know, if I'm being honest, maybe I'm in a meeting or in a class where
you would never be watching videos.
Never. So as you're scrolling through, make sure you put closed captions on your videos. There's
a ton of apps. If you're doing these videos via your phone, there's a ton of apps. Just GTS that, and that it's going to help you be able to put that closed captioning on. Something like our videos, Facebook automatically does if somebody has it on mute.
Right.
Which is awesome. But a lot of your videos, for me, I'm reading what the video is actually about on, you know, whether it be TikTok or Reels or something like that. I'm reading instead. Otherwise, it's like you got your TV. I've got to contend with Leo's, because he does not watch videos with his sound off. It's always on, and it's disturbing when he falls asleep and the TikTok doesn't go to the next one and it's just on replay.
Yep.
And I have videoed him for like a half hour. I'm listening to this thing. But I'm one that doesn't have the sound on, so I'm honestly really just kind of reading what that video is about to get that information.
Right,
so,
right.
Captioning that video. Apps do it all the time. Sue Peking Benson is awesome for, if you're following her, Katie Lance on Instagram. They're constantly putting out different tips on different ways that you can make these engaging. So, and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. Make a list of all the questions that you get asked often and answer those questions in your video. You know, whether it's about a new listing, or maybe it's just about the area, or it's just about real estate in general, whatever topic you're talking about, you know, kind of in your mind, or put a list together of the questions that you get asked often, and make sure you address those questions in your video. You know, make yourself a calendar for content, so you know exactly what you're going to be doing and when you're going to be doing it.
And that's really what we even do with the show. So, we always see the hot topics and everything like that. We do a little research, and we actually have in Google Drive is our entire year show of ideas and different articles that we may find or anything like that, because we want it to be relevant to what's going on in this market.
And sometimes we even adjust, because
you have to always adjust, but it's a good place to start. So we'll kind of have, the year of different ideas, and usually, so we have like all these articles linked on one side, and then we'll bring it over to the actual show. But I use Google Drive, the sheets, to kind of keep everything organized, and it allows us, you have to adjust for what's going on in the current market, but it's a good place to start to get yourself organized. Use your notes. As you hear things, if you're a podcast listener, you're always going to have different ideas. Use your notes and then bring it over into Google Drive. Try to organize it a little bit. That's what
it's funny. I was doing something recently, and I can't remember now what it was or who I was even talking to about it. Oh, I know what it was. I was helping somebody.
And we were just talking. Oh, I know. So of course, she would be watching this one, right? Because you're awesome. We
were just talking
about you were there, but yeah.
Well, I was talking to somebody about, I'm a little bit of a winger. Like, I like to wing it. So I don't study, too much what we're going to be talking about. I know what the bullet points are, and then I just let it flow. I think you do the same, but some people need a whole script, so if you need a whole script, then you really need to get into the rehearsing. So, but we like to wing it, I think. And so we know what our topics are, and because we're knowledgeable,
well, and I think we play well off each other. So if you are ever going to do a show, you have to find somebody that you work well. And I know every time we go to an event, they're always like, "Oh, it's the Heather and Kerry show."
Yeah.
So,
right. So here's what Pinky said. What do you think is the number one hang up for people still not doing video? And I mean, look, I'm just going to say this, like, looking at myself today is not my best day. It's not a great hair day. I didn't dry it all the way. It's looking a little crazy. I didn't put on tons of not tons of makeup. I don't ever wear tons, but I didn't put on enough makeup. And I think people say, "Oh my God, I don't look good enough, so I'm not going to do it."
But if somebody calls you for a listing appointment, is that going to prevent you from going?
No.
Absolutely not. So,
no. And I just, like, I've come to personally to realize that, I mean, this is how I look. This is how I sound. We have an agent in our office who's like, "I don't like the way I sound." And this is true. The way I sound to myself is not the way I sound to other people.
Same here. And if I hear my kids playing any of my, turn that off. Don't watch that. Stop it.
I've never rewatched any of our shows. Oh, totally women struggle with it more than men. Totally. Don't you think?
I think so. I think so, because we're, we have the makeup, and I don't know. Like,
I've gained too much weight. I mean, if there's only so many times I can say I'm getting the new headshot when I lose the weight, and I haven't lost the weight. So I just need to keep getting the headshots. I mean,
Oh, I didn't. How many chins do? Oh my gosh! Look at what that video is doing to me.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I mean, I have that even when I'm just doing the different videos. And thankfully, like, I remember when I had to take over Remax's Instagram, go live. Like, I had to call Sue, I had to call Michelle. Like, oh my gosh! And probably the best tip was using like a filter just to get me through that. And of course, and it's just like my daughter, she will only allow me to take photos if take a photo of her through Snapchat. So I have this, I'm not ever on Snapchat.
Because she wants the filter?
I don't know, the way it may reverse something. I don't know. I don't even know what it is. I'm not using filters when I'm taking her picture, but she likes those pictures better than the real one.
Okie dokie. All right.
But that got me through going live, because the filters just, for me, that's the worst part about video, is at least the camera, you have these filters, and video doesn't always. But if you are doing these other ones, I like that. And my favorite one that Sue does all the time is when they do their boomerangs and they have their competitions. I don't know if that's one of the, that's they do a closing or something, or a new listing, and
Right.
it's her and Josh are doing their own boomerang, and then they put it side by side, like who did it best.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, and then Sue says, what's the best advice to get over the fear of getting on video? Gosh, I wish I wish I knew what that. I mean, maybe it is a filter, or maybe it is if you're not doing it, someone else is.
And Sue actually is the one that one of our tips on here is maybe having a private Instagram or a private Facebook group or something like that, where you can hit that record button, practice it a little bit, get a little more comfortable. And I know even that's what we did. Our first month of shows was privately for our agents because it was a comfort place for us. And then you were finally like, yeah, let's just do it everywhere. Who cares? So, it only took you a couple weeks for us, we're
to get comfortable. But I'll be honest, I'm still not comfortable. This is kind of funny. I'm still not comfortable necessarily doing like bomb videos for like the birthday invites or whatever. I don't know if it's not comfortable or lazy, or I feel like, that'll be in their email and they can just keep replaying that over and over again. And if I don't look good, oh my God. I mean, but this I have no problem with anymore.
Yeah, definitely never had a problem with it. Well, and my first time doing those kind of videos is, I have all of my silly hats or something. So it was always for an event. I would get dressed up, and then I would use the funniest thumbnail of me being silly.
Right.
The ugliest, instead of it being a perfect thumbnail, I always made it be ugly, because actually they would open it more. Like, what the hell is she doing now?
Right. You're right. You're so right. Actually, that is when they think you're doing something silly or funny or whatever. Right. They're more.
That was my comfort zone, is just being silly and going for it, whatever.
Yeah. Well, here's another one of your tips too. If you're not ready to be on video, you can use Canva to create market report videos or real estate tips.
And that's what I'm doing now, because so we can get the office on TikTok, getting more reels. The exposure, the reach is blowing my mind. So I just use the templates. Canva has tons of videos that I can kind of have for the background, and importing that data in becomes a post on like Instagram. But it blows my mind, the reach, because like on a story, it's kind of like your people, they'll see the little bubble. But when you're doing reels, it's kind of like open to everybody. I still haven't figured out what gets best reach. I've tried it with me in there. I've tried it, I don't get that. One of my highest ones I have is just a picture of me giving my Jeep her name and giving her a bath. And I'm like, I don't understand. Like, that was, I don't know. I think the hardest part I have on the office level is really the music. So it's kind of like we're constantly watching the videos and saving audio so that I can use it, because there's some inappropriate stuff on an office level. But using Canva, you can use the story template and create content, add the slides, animate it, now save it as a video and use that for Reels or TikTok. And it's giving valuable information. I think it's great if you're not ready to be on camera. It's still a great way to utilize the reach that video has without you having to be on camera. So that's baby steps. That's what I tell people, is at least, maybe talk over it, maybe do something like that. And then I think once you realize the reach and the power that it has in the conversations, then you almost get excited and just want to do it and be in front, and then stuff like that.
Right. For sure. And it's, and I think, Pinky, you're so right here. Judgment and the fear of judgment is such a big thing. But here's just a quick funny story. So I was at my local little on the river bar restaurant last night, and two couples came in, and they were on the opposite side of the bar of us. So then John and I start sort of playing this game of, well, which woman is with which man, or what do we think the story is? And so I'm like, well, those two are husband and wife because they're touching each other and they have wedding rings on, or at least we're assuming they're husband and wife of each other. And then we couldn't figure out the other guy and the other girl. So we're clearly sitting there. I don't know whether we were judging them or talking about them, but then I heard them looking at us and talking about us. Like, and I was like, oh my God, they're talking about us. Like, and it's just human nature to do that. So like you say, if you're not doing it, someone else is, and it could be costing you business. Our good friend Eric Larkin in one of the Facebook groups recently, the question was, where did you get your last 5 listings? And 4 of the 5 were from YouTube videos.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that. I mean, even when like Steve Battani does his client appreciation parties and stuff, and, you know, talking with all of these people, all of, you know, his past clients, like that's always something that comes up in every conversation I have with them is video.
Yeah.
So, I mean, whether it be via BombBomb or what he has on YouTube, going over the different neighborhoods, it's always something that gets brought up. So there is huge power. I mean, it blows me away how underutilized video still is.
Yep. Yeah. And then just practice. So if it is just practicing, sending a video, sending it to your kids or your spouse, as long as your spouse isn't making too much fun of you.
But when Sue was doing all that and Josh would be at the restaurant, the looks he would give. And that was almost like the most hilarious part of when she would just go live at a restaurant or something like that, was just the looks of Josh being like, oh my gosh, like she's doing this again. And now he's doing it. So it's fun to see that whole evolution happen. I mean, now he's doing all these great things. So it's pretty funny to remember back when all of that was, yes, he has come a huge way.
Too funny.
The looks. He was just like, oh my gosh, like, can we just go out to eat and you not go doing videos or something?
He's like, here she goes again. And now he's like doing it himself.
He's the one doing it. Yes.
Right. So, well, and that's it. So here's an example there. You're going out to eat. So, and you want to do video, get yourself some basic equipment. Get yourself a tripod or what's this thing called? You know what I'm talking about?
Like the DJI, like the Osmo, the
stabilizer thing that you can put your phone on and then it stabilizes so you can walk with it and take video, or a tripod, or a Bluetooth clicker so you can start and stop the video remotely.
No, I use that. And then if you're going to be outside, especially I noticed like when we were trying to do stuff and it's, you know, by the beach or something, the lav mic is really big. There's the audio and stuff like that. You could have, I know we've had the full green screen set up in a couple of our offices. I'm not a huge fan of the green screen. To me, it's like, you see how fake it is?
I think it was like cute in the beginning, and then it just became more like, oh God, it does seem so fake. I mean, we still have the green screen. I moved the setup into the training room, but I also made a couple of other little vignette spots where if somebody wants to sit at a table and do video, there's some product placement behind you.
And I'm curious, so the green screen filter, is that how you're able to have like your tips and then you overlay yourself pointing to different things or talking about different things? I'm just curious. I haven't tried the green screen setup on Instagram or anything like that, probably because I don't do a lot of video with me in it, and I'm doing more of the tips and stuff because it's a little different for me. I'm not like doing it for business for myself. I'm doing it business, you know, on an office level. So I don't want to be in the video, which is where I was like, I have to figure out how to do this on an office level, but without me being in every video. So that's where I was like, I can do this via Canva. I can just send all the tips and stuff.
Right. Like that. Right. Well, and here's another good one. And this is kind of in keeping with the whole, I don't like the way I sound or I don't like the way I look. Keep it real. Show off your personality. You are like, look, we are who we are, right? So this is how I sound. This is how I look. I might as well come to terms with it and get on the video and just start doing it. Because honestly, since we've been doing it, the amount of people that I've gotten comments from that are like, oh my God, it's so great that you guys do this. You guys are so funny together or whatever. It's, you know, people are liking it and they're enjoying it.
And I think people can see right through the fakeness.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm like an open book. So we are who we are.
And that's the part though that I don't want to say takes practice, but I think when you first start, you're so nervous or whatever. So you're trying to just, be like the newscaster. but we're not on ABC News. We're on Facebook.
I think that's where Sue has an advantage because that's what
she does.
But at least she doesn't have the newscaster like sound anymore. Like
right. So, but keep it real. The people know who you are. Your followers know you, and if you get new followers, it's going to be because they like what they're hearing or seeing, and they find it entertaining.
Right. I think being true to yourself, because you're going to attract people who like you, who I think that it just gives them a way to know, like, and trust you without ever meeting. So when they do meet you, they feel that they already know you. I mean, we see that all the time at the conventions, and they come up and they watch the show, and it just takes that, that first meeting in person from a handshake to a hug, because they feel they watch you all the time. They feel they know you personally, or they've been engaged with the show or whatnot. It just makes a huge, I don't know, makes a difference.
It does make a difference.
And people see right through fakeness. So just be genuine, be yourself, and maybe video isn't for you if you're an energy sucking vampire. Maybe you should try something else.
Okay.
Sue has so many training videos, and I know we've done classes like for The Office, as well as for the larger like Remix groups for the best apps on the go. It's one of the reasons I had to go from an Android to an iPhone. Was basically a competition my daughter and I had doing videos, and she blew me away with the iPhone, and neither of us had experience doing stuff. So I immediately, luckily, I was in my time frame to switch it up and like, okay, I need an iPhone. And there's a ton of different apps. And I know Sue knows all of these because she uses them. I'm on a desktop, so I kind of do different things. But some video apps, and on our website, the MondayMorningWakeUpCall.com, we actually have a link to some articles that have more, but like quick. Adobe, Premiere Rush, iMovie, Video, Splice, Video, Create, stuff like that. And there's so many different real estate ideas to at least give you started, some topics. And I know Katie Lance is always posting on her video, like her videos, tons of ideas. If you're like, okay, I don't even know where to start. Tons of different videos. So maybe like a video.
There's so many choice. I mean, there's so many. There is, and there's so much free education. Like, I mean, Katie Lance's website is a perfect example. You can go there and get tons of ideas, and you don't have to pay for anything. Taking one of her classes, I think, is awesome, or doing a video boot camp, I think, is awesome. But you can get tons of ideas from there. What are your biggest questions that sellers are asking you? What are the biggest questions buyers are asking you? Do local attractions, do different businesses, but I think being consistent with whatever it is, like if you're going to do some sort of, whether it's local business or restaurant spotlight, you should probably be consistent with it. Do it, if once a week is too much for you, then once every other week, but keep it consistent.
Right. Mm-hmm. And what are some ideas for some video tips? Let's see, video intro. What are the top? I mean, and there's so many ways that you can do. So maybe the top 5 most asked questions for buyers, for sellers. And with these is if you do a actual video, you could have like a lead form sign up to get those. So it's a way to generate leads, and then you're able to send these videos. There's a lot of different ways that you can do that, or put them on a drip campaign with these top 5, or doing videos to your for a listing on the process. There's so many great ways that you can utilize these videos for kind of evergreenish content, drip campaigns, just getting it out there. But so you have top 5, ask questions, maybe some neighborhood tours, area, local attractions. You're never selling just a house, you're selling a way of life. Video testimonials, those are absolutely huge. And frequently asked questions about the area, whether, new developments that are coming on, or, going to people, like the school boards and all that kind of fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I mean, there's so many different topics that you can talk about. It's just get out there, get over the fear, If practicing is what helps you practice, just know that if you're not doing it, someone else is doing it, and people are talking about them.
And there's also some Facebook groups, Revs Nation. Sue has an awesome where she'll even kind of get us to actually get out of our comfort zone in a safe place. So Pinky Knows Video, she's got an awesome Facebook group. And those are a great place to start for, equipment, ideas, a safe place to post your videos and get kind of advice and tips and stuff like that. So definitely there's tons of different groups that you can join to, help you get out of that uncomfortableness that we have.
Yep.
What's our weekly activity?
Send a quick video to either a loved one or a friend or a past client. Maybe start small. Start with that. Instead of sending emails or texts, send a video.
Yep. And you can do that straight through, your phone and just, and I think even when I went to one of Tom Ferry's events, that was something he made us do when talking about video is we had to take our break. And of course, that's when we had to go and just send a quick, video and just send it to your kids, your loved one, whatever it may be, just to start getting comfortable hitting that red button and hitting record and talking and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Be perfect.
Exactly.
And then my words of wisdom is life begins at the end of your comfort zone. I love like that quote, or when you see the graphics, like the magic happens outside of your comfort zone.
Exactly.
Sometimes we just have to take that step and
and do it, just take the leap and do it. That's the best. That's really the best advice.
Yep. So just find something that you're passionate about and just start doing it. And you're going to evolve as you play, but it's going to be, once that magic clicks, you're going to be hooked and you're not going to want to stop.
Exactly.
So that's all for today. Definitely go to Monday Morning Wake Up Call, subscribe to our podcast. We have a blog. It has links to different things that we talked about today. And we've got some great shows lined up. We're finishing up our business planning for the year. So we're super excited about that. So stay tuned. And until next week, wake up, kick ass, and repeat. Bye, everyone.